Hello, I am Sunita. Welcome to my class. Here I am going to discuss Karnataka TT Science Most Expected Questions. This is my 6th class. Follow all my classes regularly, then easily you can clear your TET exam. Next question. In which of the following units is the calorific value of fuel generally expressed? First option, calories per gram. Second one, kilocalories per kilogram. Third one, joules. Fourth one, kilojoules per kilogram. What is meant by the calorific value? Calorific value is the amount of heat energy present in a food or fuel. How much amount of heat energy present in the food or fuel, we will call it as its calorific value. How you will find out the calorific value? You have to burn a specific quantity of fuel at a constant pressure in normal condition, then you will get its calorific value. Calorific value, another name, we can use it as a calorific power also. The unit of calorific value is kilojoule per kilogram. This is the representation of the unit. Here this table, it will represent some of the fuel and their respective calorific values. Maybe in the exam they may ask which is the fuel. It will give high calorific value, otherwise which is the fuel, it will give less calorific value. Like that also they may ask the questions. Next question, the metamorphosis of tadpole is not possible if the water in which they are growing does not contain sufficient, option 1 calcium, option 2 oxygen, option 3 iodine, option 4 minerals. The correct answer for this question is iodine. What is meant by metamorphosis? Conversion of tadpole to frog, that we will call it as a metamorphosis. The tadpoles are generally defined as the stage of the amphibian when they are in the form of a larva, particularly that of the frog and the toad. Here, for the metamorphosis of tadpole, iodine should be present in the water. What is the necessary of iodine in the water? Let us discuss here. The thyroid hormone with its essential iodine constituents is responsible for the control of metabolism, also for metamorphosis. You know, in the human being also, thyroid is one of the important hormone that we will get from the iodine. Iodine normally we will get from the salt. But here in the case of metamorphosis, it will get iodine from the water. If iodine is not sufficient, what is the cause? Let us see here. If iodine is not available in the diet, the thyroid may produce an insufficient amount of hormone which will adversely affect the process of metamorphosis. If sufficient amount of iodine is not present in the sufficient amount of iodine, if it is not present in the water, then it will adversely affect metamorphosis. Therefore, in water, iodine is necessary for the process of metamorphosis. Next question, which of the following commonly used fuel has maximum calorific value? Option 1 compressed natural gas CNG, option 2 diesel, option 3 liquefied petroleum gas LPG, option 4 petrol. The correct answer is liquefied petroleum gas. Here this table, it will represent a calorific value of different fuels. This topic is very important. In the exam they may ask which is the fuel having low calorific value. That is one question. Then another, which is the fuel having high calorific value. Otherwise, what is the calorific value of coal, petrol, kerosene, diesel? Any one particular they may ask in the form of a MCQ questions. Here the LPG is having high calorific value. Its value is 55,000. Then what is meant by LPG? Combination of light hydrocarbons. It is a combination of light hydrocarbons produced partly from the refining of crude oil, about 40%, and partly from the processing of natural gas, about 60%. Therefore, LPG is a combination of hydrocarbons. It is 40% of crude oil, then 60% of natural gas. It consists primary propane and butane. It consists of both propane and butane. Mainly it is used for, this fuel is used for cooking, heating, lighters and other applications. Therefore, this topic is very important. revise the table properly. Next question. Air is a mixture of many gases. The percentage by volume of the gases other than nitrogen and oxygen. Here they are asking the question, other than nitrogen and oxygen, what is the percentage of other gases like carbon dioxide, methane, argon, ozone, water vapor combined together is about what is the percentage? They are asking the question. Option 1, 0.1%, option 2, 1%, option 3, 21%, option 4, 78%. Let us see here, 78% of nitrogen present in the air, 21% of oxygen is present in the air. Then here 0.96% of other gases, mostly argon. Then 0.4% carbon dioxide. Both you will combine, you will get 1%. Then other than nitrogen and oxygen, other gases like carbon dioxide, methane, argon, ozone, everything, it will come under 1%. They will be present in 1% in the air. Next one, which of the following endocrine gland secretes sugar controlling hormone? First option adrenal, second option pancreas, third one pituitary, fourth one is thyroid. The correct answer for this question is pancreas. Here this is the pancreas. It contains beta cell. That beta cell it will produce insulin. Then that insulin it will control the level of glucose in the bloodstream. After you eat a meal, that meal it contains carbohydrates. Then the carbohydrates it will break down to form a glucose. When glucose is produced from the food, then the level of glucose it will rises in the bloodstream. Then this it will detected by the pancreas. Then that pancreas immediately it will reduce them using beta cells. It will release insulin. Then that insulin it will control the level of glucose in the bloodstream. Therefore, correct answer for this question is pancreas. It will produce insulin. Then that insulin it will control the level of glucose in the bloodstream. Next question. Select the one which is different from the other in the manner it is applied. First one electrostatic force, second one frictional force, third one gravitational force, fourth one magnetic force. Let us discuss in detail what is meant by electrostatic force. The electrostatic force is an attractive or repulsion force between the particles or caused due to their electric charges. This is the force exists between the attraction or repulsion of any two electric charged bodies. For example, take two balloons, blow the balloons, then one blowed balloon rubbed with the air, then again bring two balloons approaching each other, then you can observe the repulsion force exists between the two balloons. This force we will call it as an electrostatic force. Next one is frictional force is the opposing force that is created between the two surfaces that they try to move in the same direction or they try to move in the opposite direction. Let us consider an example. When you want to walk, assume you are wearing a shoe, then your shoe it will be in contact with the land. Consider the land is a sand. Then when you start moving, then that sand it will oppose a opposing force. That force we will call it as a frictional force. The main purpose of a frictional force is to create resistance, resist the motion of one surface over the other surface. Your shoe will be in contact with the sand surface. Then that sand surface it will create a frictional force upon the shoe. That force we will call it as a frictional force. Earth attracts all the things towards it through an unseen force of attraction. This force of attraction is called as an gravitational or gravitational pull. You know, everything on the earth it will get attracted by the earth. That force we will call it as a gravitational force. Anything, if you throw an apple or ball up to the earth above the ground, then it will fall down because of the gravitational force. Magnetic force can be defined as the attractive or repulsive force that is exerted between the poles of a magnet and electrically charged moving particles. Hence, it is a consequence of electromagnetic forces. Electromagnetic force is nothing but when you hold two magnets near to each other, because of the opposing force, otherwise because of the magnetic force, they will get attracted or they will get repelled. Like poles, they will get repelled, unlike poles they will get attracted. The magnetic force, it will exist if one is magnet or if another one is a metal or any other object. Then here, according to this question, electrostatic force, frictional force, gravitational force, magnetic force, all the four in detail you studied. Here, frictional force is a contact force. Frictional force, it will exist when two bodies, otherwise when the two surface, when they are in contact with each other. Therefore, frictional force is a contact force. But electrostatic force, gravitational force, magnetic force, they are not a contact force. These three forces exist if the object, if they are not in contact also. Therefore, these three, electrostatic force, gravitational force, magnetic force, are non-contact force. Only frictional force is the contact force. Therefore, this is the correct answer. A person is suffering from a disease named goiter. Which of the following gland of the person is not functioning properly? Option 1 adrenal, option 2 pancreas, option 3 pituitary, option 4 thyroid. The correct answer for this question is thyroid gland. Here, this is the thyroid gland. This thyroid gland, it will secrete thyroid hormone. If your body contains sufficient amount of iodine, then this thyroid gland easily it will produce thyroid hormone. If your body is having insufficient amount of iodine, then this thyroid gland, it is very difficult to produce thyroid hormone. Then this gland, it will start gradually, it will increase in size. Compared to healthy thyroid gland, it will grow bigger. Then this one we will call it as a goiter, because when you are having iodine deficiency, then this thyroid gland, it will make very difficult to produce thyroid hormones. For difficulty of this purpose, it will grow bigger. This one we will call it as a goiter. Therefore, correct answer for this question is thyroid gland. Let us see next question. From this onwards, the questions are based on the science pedagogy. Good science education should be true to the child implies that the science we teach should understand the question. The science education, it will be based on or focused on true to the child. True to the child. It is very child-centered education. Implies the science we teach should, first one, related to the environment of the child. Related, everything what we will study, it will be related to environment. That is also important. But here, the child, environment of the child they are asking. Environment of the child, maybe it will include their home environment also, the neighbor environment, everything. When the students want to study, that is not the main purpose. Whether environment is nothing but whether the child family is rich or poor, whether they are good or bad, everything, it will not decide the science education. Therefore, this is wrong. Next one, convey significant aspect of science content. Science content, whatever is there in the textbook, if you teach that one, it is not sufficient. It is not child oriented education. Therefore, this is also wrong. Third one, be understandable to the child. Yes, this is the correct option, because whatever you will teach to the child, whether it is a basic concept or heavier concept, any concept, first the child has to understand the basic one, science one. Therefore, this whatever the science you will teach, that it has to understand by the child. Then fourth one, engage the child in learning processing skill. Only if the student, if he learn only processing the skill, learning process skills is not sufficient. The child has to understand the concept, otherwise learn the science, basic education of the science. Therefore, third one is the correct answer. Next question. While teaching correct method of measuring volume of a solid using a measuring cylinder, Kavita mentioned the following steps not in the proper sequence, correct sequence to be followed. Here, Kavita, she given method of measuring a volume of a cylinder using measuring cylinder, but she is not given the proper order. You have to arrange in the proper way. First, let us discuss here. Listen here how to measure a volume of a solid using a measuring cylinder. Let us discuss here. This is the cylinder. First, you have to record the least count of the measuring cylinder. Then you have to put some water into the cylinder. Then water level, it will rise in the cylinder. Then note down the water level without a solid. First you have to note down. Then second one, then take a solid in the same cylindrical jar cylinder. Take a solid, immerse the solid with the help of a thread. Leave it for 1 minute or some time. Then the level of water, it will be rise. Then note down the level of water. Then here you can see the level of water difference. This difference, it will indicate the volume of a solid. Later you can calculate. Here the correct option for this question is CDBA, option 3. First, record the least count of the measuring cylinder, that is the first one. Next one is the D, put sufficient amount of water in the cylinder and note the reading. Then B, suspend the solid with a thread inside the water in the cylinder. The next one, note the reading of level of water in the cylinder. That is the correct sequence of measuring volume of a solid using a measuring cylinder. Vandana is interested to focus more on acquisition of process skills of science by students of class 8. Which of the following combination of methods should she prefer to teach the topic in microorganisms? First option, assessment cum questioning method. Second one, project cum laboratory method. Third one, home assignment cum science quiz method. Fourth one, home assignment cum questioning method. The correct answer for this question is project cum laboratory method. To introduce microorganisms, otherwise to explain property microorganisms, first we have to give the project. Then after giving the project, we have to follow the laboratory method, because microorganisms in the lab only they are able to see the microorganism, then easily they can understand. Therefore this is the correct option. Only assessment, then questioning method, home assignment, questioning, this is not so much important. Project cum laboratory method is the important one. Next question, which of the following is the key expectation from teaching and learning of science at the upper primary stage? At the upper primary stage, which are the key expectation of teaching of science? They are asking the question. Option 1, to acquire questioning and inquiring skills. Option 2, to create literary literacy. Option 3, to appreciate the interrelationship between science and art. To acquire academic excellence for competitive examination. The correct answer for this question is to acquire questioning and inquiring skills. This one is very important. Next one, National Curriculum Framework 2005 recommends that science education at upper primary stage should be focused on. Option 1, helping student to connect classroom learning to life outside the school. Option 2, helping student to acquire international standards in learning of science. Option 3, minimizing social disparities in the students. Option 4, promoting human values and knowledge base for peaceful society. The correct option for this question is very important. Every time they will ask National Curriculum Framework 2005, helping student to connect classroom learning to life outside the school. Next one, cognitive validity of science curriculum at upper primary stage implies that it should be convey significant and scientifically correct facts. Option 2, be age appropriate. 3, use appropriate pedagogical process in teaching. Fourth one, enable the child to view science as a social enterprise. The correct answer for this question is be age appropriate. The topic separation of substance in class 6 can be Taught most effectively by option 1, in-depth explanation of related concept. Option 2, using hands-on activities to be performed by students. Option 3, using good home assignment. Option 4, organizing more group discussion on different subtopics. The correct answer for this question is using hands-on activity to be performed by the students. For the students, separation of the substance, if you explained then giving home an assignment, then organizing group discussion, they are not able to understand. You have to give one example like a mixture, otherwise a mixture of rice and stone you have to give to the students, then make them to separate, then they will pick the stone from the rice, then they will come to know how to separate the substance by physical method. Like this they will understand the concept also, then easily they can recognize what is meant by the separation of substance. The term constructivism in relation to science education means that children should be option 1, given complete information about science. 2, actively involved in the process of learning science. 3, discouraged to raise question in the classroom. 4th one, given latest information on scientific developments. Correct answer is actively involved in the process of learning science. Next question. Anjali asked the following task to be performed by students of class 7th while making of an electromagnet. How to prepare an electromagnet? Anjali, she given some statements, they are not arranged in the proper order. Arrange it in the proper order. The correct answer for this question is option C. Let us verify. Option 2. Let us verify. First one is C. Wound, that is not wind. Wound a copper wire tightly around a iron nail. First you have to take a iron nail. In that one, take one copper wire, then wound it properly with a copper wire. Then next one is D. Connect free end of the wire to the terminal of a cell. You will get two free ends. That two free ends you have to connect it to the terminal of a cell. Then next one, place some pins near the end of a nail. Then you have to place some pins near the end of the nail. Then switch on the current and observe what happens. Then switch on the current, then you have to observe what will happen. This is the correct sequence of the electromagnet. Thanks for listening my class. Send me your valuable feedback. Follow all my classes regularly, then you can clear your TET exams very easily.